Hello everyone and welcome to Lahti, Finland and to Kemppi's factory. You may have noticed that Kemppi changed its slogan last year to Designed for Welders, which is a great upgrade in the brand and also a signal that Kemppi's products are designed specifically for welders. Today is the day we've all been waiting for. It is the first date of a step towards a new world and a new future in arc welding. And we'll be showing you remarkable new products from Kemppi, the forerunner of the entire welding industry. And who would be better to talk to us about all of this than Kemppi's executive chairman, Teresa Kemppi Vasama. Hello, Teresa.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
I wasn't interrupting anything.
No, we're fine.
It's
Yeah.
so good to see you. It's so good to be here at the factory.
Lovely to have you here.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Hey, tell us about what you've been up to here at the factory over the past year.
Well, customers want to buy welding machines, so I think it keeps us busy, as you can see.
Well, that is fantastic news. Kemppi is a very special company. You know, you're a third generation Kemppi. The company's been in operations for over 70 years. How has your family heritage impacted the operations of the company?
Well, I think a lot of people, when they come to the company, say that you can already feel that it's a family company when you step into the factory. You know, I think it's the values, it's the atmosphere. I think it's the famous Kemppi spirit, so you can somehow feel here. And it had a lot to do also with the ambition. I mean, we want to be the pioneers of the welding business, so we really, I think all these kind of aspects would do the difference.
I read this in the Finnish media. It may be a rumor, but is it true that everybody in the Kemppi family can weld? Is this true?
Well, I would say we have all welded, definitely. I have welded many times, but I'm not a good welder, to be honest. Definitely not. But,
you're probably better than I am.
No, but yes, we have all welded, and also we have this habit that also when we have new people joining Kemppi, that they go to the welding school and try out welding. So we want everybody to have a feeling about, what we do here and, what kind of equipment are and what it's like to be a welder, at least for a couple of seconds.
Absolutely. That's the common welded bond between all of you. It's a strong bond. It's a strong weld. We'd love to hear your take on where the industry's going, the state of the entire welding industry as of today.
Well, lots is going on, obviously, but I think one that is very characteristic at the moment is that welding is becoming more and more demanding. Just think of all the high-strength steels and stuff like that. It's becoming really, more difficult, I would say. And at the same time, we have lots of customers who have difficulty in finding also qualified welders. So that puts a lot of pressures for the companies. There's a lot of quality issues, a lot of pressure on productivity, sustainability, all these kind of things. So I think this is a challenging market, definitely. Yeah.
And you've done so well in a challenging market, and many people would like to ask you the following questions without revealing any secrets, obviously. But where does all of this, innovation and inspiration, these great R&D ideas, where do they all come from?
Well, there are many sources. I mean, we have lovely customers who tell us, what they want. We have dealers, distributors. We have so many people that we get information from. But I would say that the most important source of inspiration is really the welder. The welder himself or herself. All the issues that he or she goes through during the day. Those are the things that make us tick. We want to solve the problems. We want to make welding easier. And that makes us focus on, of course, the usability, about, the quality, everything that is, just makes the life easier of the welder.
How inspiring, this focus on welders. Thank you so much for your time. And now we're going to be listening to more exciting news about Kemppi from the Vice President Markets, Herben van der Berg. Join us. Herben, it's great to have you here in the studio.
Thanks, Andre.
If I looked at your LinkedIn profile correctly, it's now been a little bit over a year that you've been working for Kemppi. Congratulations.
Thank you.
If you could give us just a few highlights of that first year, what would they be?
I think last year has been a big roller coaster in general, right? And we have had a phenomenal year. We have seen great performances of the teams. We had to work in different ways, of course, last year. Several markets have been outperforming their history records in the month, in the week, in the year. So we really had a fantastic year. And the results have also led to bringing us much closer together as a team. And not just focusing on machines, but also on our safety business and our guns and torch business. So we've been very delighted with the results. It was much better than we could ever have hoped for. And it has given us a great energy to think about how 22 is going to look like for us.
And you did exceptionally well when we look at what's happening in the rest of the industry, where there were a lot of long delays and supply chain problems. How did you overcome all that?
Yeah, it's a very good question. I think we have to thank our team who have done a wonderful job. We've been basically the whole year been without lead times.
That's amazing.
Very hard work to keep the factory going by the people and supply chain to keep the components coming in. And our dealers have really enjoyed that fantastic flow of products coming into the market. Yeah.
So let's talk about 2022. What's coming up? There's a lot on your plate. It's going to be another great year, I believe it. And if I understand correctly, dealers and distributors are going to be on top of the agenda. Is that right?
Absolutely. This year, I mean, today we're going to unveil some fantastic new products, which is really going to help us. But this year, we really want to get closer to our dealers as well. So we're working hard on making their lives easier, giving them the great products, great features as well. And yes, we have big challenges because last year we had a fantastic year, but this year needs to be better. And that's going to be a big battle for everybody. But yeah, we have high hopes, and you know, the year has already started nicely for us. So we're very confident about a very good year ahead of us.
Anything else coming up this year that is on top of the agenda?
You know, we're having this great product launch today, but of course it won't stop today. We're going to start with great campaigns. Actually, we're going to launch a campaign very soon, which I'm sure the dealers and the distributors are going to be enjoying. But also later this year, we come out with a couple of other new products, which I can't wait. Of course, today I can't talk about it. But it's really fantastic to see those products also come to the market and see how our dealers and distributors will respond to it. Yeah.
We're going to be talking about safety today quite a bit. And of course, safety has always been a big concern of the industry for obvious reasons, but it seems to be more so now, you know, the regulation and all the self-regulation. But this is also embedded in the business going forward. Could you tell us more about that?
Yeah, I think within Kemppi, we are very well known because of our machines and the reliability and the performance of the machines. But I think not everybody knows that we have also fantastic safety solutions in-house. And this is something we have to put more emphasis in as a company. But also, if you look into the industry, and especially the manual welding, there is more and more desire for healthy and safe workplaces for the welders. And we have really spent a lot of our time on thinking, how can we make that happen? And of course, there's also legislation, which is helping us a little bit, where fume extraction becomes more of a standard than something optional. So safety is becoming more and more important for us as well.
Well, we're going to be talking a lot about safety today with all of these exciting new products that you're putting on the market. Thank you, Herben, for your time today. I know you're a very busy guy. And now let's go and take a look at these wonderful safety helmets. Hey, at Kemppi, a welder's safety is the #1 priority. That's why so many resources are invested in making professional welders as safe as possible. This is, of course, something that everybody here at Kemppi is proud of, but the most important thing is that welders are kept as safe as possible. But hey, just one more thing is that you can ask questions throughout the entire broadcast by going to the chat, which is on the right side of your screen. So send us those questions and our experts will answer you shortly. But now it's time to introduce the Vice President of the Safety Business Unit here at Kemppi. He is Roger Rasmussen, and he's going to be talking to us about the philosophy behind this, the Beta E safety helmet. Hello, Roger. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. And it was so nice to try this new product on my head. It felt very good. But I'd like to ask you maybe more details about the Beta E. How does it differentiate itself from its competition?
Good. Well, to begin with, it is a development from this Beta that we launched back in 2019. We've been asked numerous number of times, can you come up with a solution so we can wear it with our hard hats?
Yes.
And eventually we said, yes, let's do it. So that was the background of development for the Beta safety helmet concept.
So who would be the typical user of this helmet?
I would say anyone working in an environment where a hard hat is mandatory. Shipyards, construction sites, certain industries, anywhere where it's preferred or mandatory to wear a hard hat, and of course doing welding at the same time.
I know you've been working a long time with this already, and you probably have a long list of benefits, but if you have to, put it shortly, what are the main benefits of the helmet and its applications?
Well, to begin with, as said, it's based on the Beta E90 that is being worn by thousands of welders on a daily basis. So what we did was simply, we needed to change the angle here so it could fit together with the earmuffs. We created the fastening solution, so the pins here slides into the fastening slot for the earmuffs. Yeah. And then you have the complete kit ready to go. Protecting your head and your face and your ears.
Wow. So I guess everybody's going to be asking, when can I get this? When is it going to be available?
It will be ready to ship mid-May. Information on the website already, so you can read all about this great product.
I know you guys in the safety business unit are very, very busy. Tell us what else you're working on right now.
We have a number of projects, both within the existing range of products we have, but also with new segments in safety coming up. And the first one I would like to mention is a product family called Zeta.
Zeta.
Yeah. So first out will be two standalone versions, one for grinding, one for welding. When we started the project, we had a few main design drivers, as we call it. It should be lightweight, a narrow shape, it should be easy to change all the consumables such as visors, and last but not least to have the integrated work lights also on the Zeta products. We started with the integrated work lights on the Gamma helmet. Mm-hmm, yeah. What we needed to fix here for the Zeta standalone was the fact that with the Gamma, the power to the work lights is coming from the battery on the fan unit you carry on the back. As we now launched the Zeta as standalone, we needed to fix that problem. And we managed. So the battery that gives power to the work lights is now on the neckband. It's lithium-ion battery. It easily runs for a full workday. Easy to charge with a normal mobile phone charger. Okay. So yeah, we are excited about the Zeta coming up.
Well, a lot of exciting features about the Zeta, but what in your opinion makes the Zeta extra special?
Now I think, as a matter of fact, the real first good solution to have integrated work lights on a standalone welding helmet. And we even have been getting questions about this from actual users. Okay. And now we bring it to market.
And now I understand that we have some questions already in the chat. One of the questions I see is, it's the Zeta. So when is the Zeta going to be ready?
The Zeta will be ready to start shipping end of May. Information up on the website in a few weeks. So we are excited.
Good. You're sending us questions. Keep them coming. But we now have a question for you. Let's take a poll. A poll about this very important question for your unit and for the entire industry is, we'd like to know, are you going to be putting more effort into safety equipment purchases in the future? Are you going to do that? Take the poll now. Even without looking at the results, I think they are going to be the kind of results that are telling us there's a big demand for this. So should your salespeople be in touch with everybody listening to us right now?
Sure, certainly. On the phone.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, listen, We'll take a look at the poll perhaps a bit later, and I think we're seeing already the numbers. They're looking what we thought they'd look like. Everybody's interested in purchasing these products. But before I let you go, could you tell us, about other types of products that you mentioned that you're working on?
Yeah, I want to save that a bit for later, but to give you a hint, look at this nice hoodie I'm wearing.
That looks very nice, actually.
Thank you. Yeah. So we have plenty of exciting news coming up. So one recommendation is read our newsletters, check out our website, and follow us on social media to make sure not to miss out on anything.
I want one of those.
We fix that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll pay for it. I'll pay for it, obviously. Thank you, Roger, for sharing all of this exciting news with us. So many exciting products coming up already this spring. It's very, very exciting. But now, ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to invite a few guests into the studio to talk about what lies ahead. Industry 4.0. Sounds like something you failed 3 times at before getting it right. But actually, it's not like that. It's not like that at all, as we will see. What has digitalization brought to the welding industry compared to the old ways of doing things? Well, our guests will be talking about this very shortly. The road to digitalization is not as fast as you would want, but hey, at the end of the day, the journey is the reward. So let's enjoy the ride and watch this really cool video about Kemppi's Welding service.
Welding is a universal solution for managing welding production more efficiently while documenting your projects weld by weld. The cloud-based software provides a simple way to control your welding production anywhere in the world, regardless of your location. Your entire welding project, based on technical drawings and design documents, can be structured on a browser-based user interface. Project data can also be automatically received, for example, from ERP and MES systems. With Welding, managing your welding projects and generating digital work orders is easy. With a few clicks, you can send the work orders to the Welding app. Tasks can be assigned to specified welders or welding stations, or they can be picked from the list by anyone. The best thing is that you're able to integrate Welding with your entire welding fleet, as Welding is compatible with any manufacturer's welding equipment. Signing in to the Welding application is easy as well. Select yourself directly from the list or read the code from your ID card. With a single click, a welder is able to select a work order from the task list and view it. Welding also makes sure that the welder is qualified for the task. The welder will automatically see the right welding procedure specification for the job. By using the Welding app, the welder can easily access the company's welding procedure specification library on the go. The welder confirms the filler material to be used. After that, the welder can scan, select, or enter the filler batch number. Now, the welder is ready to weld. Right after the welding has started, all welding parameters, arc on time, and identifiers selected by the welder are documented to the cloud service in real time. The data is connected and sorted according to the identifiers. Upon finishing the job, the welder receives immediate feedback. For example, if there have been problems with the heat input, the welder will be the first to know. Finally, the welder completes the task by using the Welding app. One weld at a time, your welding project nears its completion. If you integrate, for example, your company's ERP system with Welding, the data will flow freely between the two systems. As welding is documented automatically 24/7, you can always check the up-to-date status of your welding production. All necessary welding parameters and additional data such as welder lists, welding procedure specifications, and material certificates are available from Welding throughout and after the project. For more information, visit welding.com. Knowledge is power. Insight creates value. Welding.
So welcome to our discussion, everyone, and I have the great pleasure of having the manager for digital solutions with me, Vesa Tilikka here. Welcome, Vesa.
Yeah, thank you.
And I have Antti Nykänen online. He's representing one of our customers here at Kemppi, Turula Engineering. How are you, Antti?
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
It's great to have you. It is really great to have you. And we're going to start with a poll question for our audience. And the question is, what is Industry 4.0? What is Industry 4.0? What does it mean? And so while you're answering, I was asked to come up with a joke on, and it's not easy. I mean, it's not a very funny industry, right? But let's try this joke, okay? So there's an unemployed welder, and he's looking for a job. He sees an ad in the paper and it says, "Hey, welders wanted 20-50 euro an hour." He said, "Oh wow, this is very exciting." He goes there, he goes through the interview. The supervisor says, "Hey, you're in, but you got to do a test. So do these 2 welds for me." He does 2 welds, and the supervisor says, "Oh, how did this happen? You did a terrible job with this weld, and you did a fantastic job with this weld. How is that possible? How do you explain the difference in quality?" And he says, "Well, sir, this is the 20 euro weld, and this is the 50 euro weld." You're laughing at my joke. I can't believe it. That's amazing. Thank you. I appreciate that. So we're looking at the results of the poll. A lot of views on what is Industry 4.0. But, I'd like to ask perhaps you, what do you say about this? What is Industry 4.0? Vesa?
Yeah, well, this Industry 4.0, it means that it's the 4th industrial revolution, basically. And it's about the connectivity. It's about connecting machines to each other, systems to machines, etc., and doing things more automatically with that phrase, basically.
Okay, so how does Welding help us in this?
Welding is basically our answer to this one, because we are doing the digitalization and connectivity with that one. There is no Industry 4.0 if there is no connectivity. And Welding is our link for this connectivity here.
Okay, so we have this new way of doing things with digitalization, Industry 4.0, and a more conservative approach in the industry. Now I'd like to ask this question from both of you. How does this compare, this new approach to welding, to the old approach? Perhaps, Antti, you want to say something about this?
Well, 10 years ago, when I coordinate our welding operation here at the workshop, it was totally different. We used many different kinds of systems like Excel and paper version for double VPSs, and now we can really follow the digital VPSs, double VPSs when welding, so we know that we are following the right parameters, and also the managing of the qualification and so on, document of the work is much more easier.
And you look very happy, Antti.
Yes,
you
I
look
am,
very relaxed. It
I
must be the result of
it.
digitalization. I'm sure that
Yes.
that has an impact as well.
I can sit here.
Another great way of innovating is involving your customers and partners in a process of co-creation. So was this incorporated in these processes?
Well, yeah, Welding wouldn't be as it is today without our customers, like Turula Engineering, because they are the ones who are coming up with the ideas. We are not the experts in what the customers are doing in their daily processes. And then we basically develop those wishes into actual functions and release them for these customers. And that's one of the best things, to seeing that these ideas of the customers come to alive with with their daily basis.
Well, let's ask Antti. From your eyes, what are the Welding main benefits in this service?
I can say that because we have quite many welders and operators, roughly 40 today, and almost 200 qualifications for the welders, and also almost 200 double VPSs. So how you can control and manage that big mess without digital system. So now I just send a DVPS for the welding equipment, and welders easy to pick up the welding procedures and start welding. Also qualification is much more easier. I can save my time, and traceability is for the customers always in use, and documentation handling is much more easier. I can save my time. Like now I'm sitting here talking with you.
But not wasting your time, you're obviously. Well, this all makes sense to me. And if I understand correctly, Vesa, the management of welding is made a lot easier by Weldai, isn't that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, and that's what, that's the key point of it.
All right, so now I'm going to let you loose, Vesa, to do some real-time commentary as we go through the demo of the service. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay.
Let's take it away.
We've been working with a new Weldai module called ArcVision. The module has been built for really easy data collection from welding machines, and it does everything in the background with these new upcoming Kemppi machines that have inbuilt connectivity. As you can see, we are collecting the arc time used, filler material usage, energy consumption of the machines, and also an estimated usage of sealing gas. There are different options on how the data is shown and filtered for the user. One of the eye-catchers of the module is this factory layout function, where users are able to upload their production facilities pictures and then place the welding machines into their real locations. You can see immediately the status of your welding workshop on how the machines are being used. You can also drill down to each welding machine information to see more detailed information about the specific device and its details. We haven't forgotten the starting point for the data collection either, the thing that started it all in Kemppi. So we do collect all basic welding parameters on a detailed level to the system, and that data can be also exported using, for example, an Excel file. We wanted to make the startup of using the module as easy as possible, so we're offering a 3-month free trial for this module, and it can be activated by the users themselves. The trial includes also welding procedures module, so at the same time the digital WPS functionality can be tested properly.
Well, thank you, Vesa. Thank you, Antti, for that great discussion. We learned a lot. And now we're going to be taking the next step in arc welding with John Frost. And we are here with John Frost, the product manager for the entire Kemppi group. Hello, John, how are you?
Hi, Andre, how are you?
Doing well, very, very well indeed. What I'm seeing here is 3 stunning machines. They are light power sources, but am I reading this correctly? I read that these are industrial grade welding machines, but they look pretty small to me.
Well, indeed, Andre, they may look small, but they have a great deal of welding power, 350 amps, 40% duty cycle. They are very light in weight, Yeah, small in size but big in heart. And of course that one is connected to a metal undercarriage as well.
It's very light. Even I can lift it.
The power source is 27 kilos in weight. In fact, all three of the power sources in the family are 27 kilos.
Yeah, and they're beautifully orange like everything else around here.
That's our brand color, absolutely. Orange, yes.
But tell me, they look very similar to me, but how do they differ in their control operations and performance in general?
Well, indeed, the mechanical structures of the MasterMig product family are all the same. We have the same cabinet structure. We have 4 alternative carriage systems. We have a modular water cooler option. Okay. Each of the products has a 4-roll wire drive system, and each product also carries a kinetic spool brake. Okay. And a kinetic spool brake allows for when the momentum of the wire stops normally with a standard welding machine, the wire can run forward a little bit, and that can impact ignition quality. So with a kinetic spool brake, the wire will reverse up slightly automatically, and that's quite a unique feature in this particular product family, and it starts even with our entry-level model, the 353. But let's talk about the models specifically, yes, and that will give you a better idea.
Yes. Should we start with the 353 or?
Absolutely. So we can see here a 353 on a cooler. It's on a 2-wheel carriage system, but essentially you can purchase the product, just the power source, on its own. Okay. So what you see here is a 350 amp 40% ED power source. So plenty of welding power, plenty of capability to weld, but essentially being our entry level model, you'd think it would be quite low in terms of feature values, but it's very feature heavy, this product, for its price point, in fact. Okay. MasterMig 353 will provide you with manual control, it will provide you with auto control. It has 28 welding programs. Okay. 28. It has weld assist, pin lock, and 6-channel memory. So
I'm sorry, what is weld assist?
Good question. Weld assist is a fast setting technique. It's completely new to the MIG-MAG world, and particularly launching in this MasterMig product family. So Weld assist, what does it do? Well, imagine that you're new to welding, you're semi-skilled, or even if you're a professional. There are many different applications. You might be particularly familiar with one material type, one joint type, etc. But think about all the alternative circumstances you can face, all the different situations you can find in terms of applications within the welding industry. So Weld assist allows you to select the joint type. Okay. You can select the position that the joint is sitting in, you dial in the plate thickness, and you're ready to weld. Absolutely perfect. So it's great for professionals, but it's also great for students as well, because if you're new to the industry, it's great for providing knowledge transfer. So Weld Assist is available in the 353, and they're all standard features, 355 and 358 as well.
What a great feature.
It is fantastic, actually, but I think we'll probably be telling some more about that later in our introduction.
All right, let's move on.
Absolutely. So this has 28 welding programs, as I say. Yes. Okay, so now we move up to the 355 and the 358. So what's the main difference? Well, as I say, 353 offers manual and auto welding, but it does not offer pulse. Okay. Can do a great deal with that product, but if you want pulsed MIG welding, you go to a 355. This is the first model in the MasterMig family with pulse MIG welding. It also allows us to run some of our new modified and special arc processes. But essentially, you jump from 28 welding programs to 48 welding programs.
Okay.
Okay.
A significant hop, as it were.
In terms of the standard welding package, you've got a great deal more value in this particular product. Right. But it's specifically if you're working with stainless steels, aluminiums, etc., this 355 model comes into its own. But it offers a couple of other interesting new features as well, one being gas guard. And gas guard
Gas guard.
gas guard.
Tell us about that. What is gas guard?
Well, it's quite simple, really. I mean, if you're in a large site fabrication environment, if you're in a shipyard where you're running not necessarily gas cylinders on the back of a system like this, you have long gas supply lines. You have a circuit of shielding gas provided. So that means you've got gas hoses running across the floor. If that gas hose gets severed, with a standard welding machine, you're going to continue to weld. But what you do is you've then got contamination of the weld piece itself. You've got to grind it out. A lot of additional costs. With gas guard, if there is no gas present, if you've not connected the gas, it won't allow you to weld. So you can't get oxidation of the weld piece itself. So it's a great saving technique. It's very simple.
It's like a built-in insurance policy.
Absolutely. 355 provides gas guard as standard. So 48 welding programs, you've got manual, you've got auto pulse operation, you've got gas guard, weld assist, really good value package. And then we move up.
The 358.
The 358. This is the premium model in the family. And there's a great deal of additional features, not least the TFT color screen. You can personalize the color screen. You can put a picture of your favorite, I don't know, your car, your motorcycle.
Maybe a family member?
Maybe a family member as well. We've seen all sorts on previous products where we've got personalization, but with this particular product, you can upload a favorite image. But it also allows our higher business customers to upload their logo, some unique information that they may wish to transfer to their end market, not least communication details. Color TFT screen. But importantly, this carries typically the same welding profile that the 355 carries, but it also provides digital connectivity, and it's integrated as standard in the machine.
Okay, so this is an Industry 4.0 ready machine, is that right?
358, absolutely Industry 4.0 ready. What does it in practice allow you to do? Everyone talks Industry 4.0, but if you've got a Wi-Fi connection, this machine will connect automatically with that network, and it will transfer welding data. Okay, it will also allow customers to run digital WPSs. So instead of running paperwork WPSs, you can run digital WPSs through the 358 standard. So integrated digital connectivity is one of the big step-ups with this particular product. And again, it allows us to run modified arc performance softwares, our WISE and our MAX processes. So the products do all look the same, but actually
they're very different, actually.
They're quite different. 353, 355, and 358.
And what about the lighting around these, the LED work lights and so on?
Well, I mean, you'd probably put that into our unique feature list. You've heard a lot about Kemppi designing for welders.
Yes.
Great welding machines are what we do, but also we need to think about the different environments that the welding machines are used in. So they differ quite significantly. So we try to think about those environments. We try to think about different options that would benefit the welder, particularly in low light conditions. And the LED work lights are probably one of those features that our user group will get quite excited about. So if we just move to the front of the welding machine,
sure.
Here, if we take a 353, I think this is here, 355. We have integrated LED work lights.
Right.
So with those, you have two different power levels, and you can switch them on and switch them on off as you require. Now, those are self-charging. They're maintenance-free. Okay, there's a battery on board, and the work lights will work when the machine isn't powered up. Okay, and it will also charge the battery when the machine is connected to the mains. So we've got integrated LED work lights. We've got backlit LED navigation buttons, and we also have cabinet lighting source as well. So if you're setting up in a workshop, if you're trying to see the numeration on a contact tip, we've all done that, particularly us older welders. You know, what's the size of this contact tip? Pop the work lights on. You can see what's marked.
Very
on
convenient.
there.
Lovely.
Absolutely unique, completely new feature in this particular family. Also, with the cabinet lighting, you can see how much wire is on the wire spool, and it's excellent for the wire line maintenance, wire drive rolls, etc.
Very exciting new features. So I'm going to ask you, perhaps, the market is so used to Kemppi innovating all the time. What are the new, genuinely new welding performance features in these machines?
Okay, so typically we've talked a little bit about the welding specification. We've talked a little bit about some of the features that are particularly attractive to the eye. But yeah, absolutely, these are welding machines. They've got to perform well. But you do expect a Kemppi to perform well. But in their standard format, you've got the standard welding specification. Okay, the actual arc performance, the ignition, the welding quality, it pulls down from our system class products, our new X5 series. So although they're smaller in terms of their maximum output, the actual quality of the welding is very similar to our system class products. But in terms of new welding performance, we've developed specifically for this range actually some products called Max Arc Performance products. So Max Arc Performance improve welding speed, they improve welding control in position, they improve control and weldability for thin sheet materials, and we've also got a product which is excellent for root welding and for gap bridging. So in that respect, you can add those performance features not with a 353, but if you have a 355 or you have a 358, you can add those features to your package on delivery, or it's something that you can add to your product at a later date.
Okay, excellent. Wow, how wonderfully innovative once again. So much packed into these three wonderful machines. But hey, how about we answer some questions?
Sure.
Yeah, let's take a look at the questions. And there's one that just came up, and I think it's an interesting one. It says, there are many such compact MIG machines on the market. So why these machines? Why the Master MIG?
Well, very good question. I have to think about that for a moment. But typically, there are many machines in the welding world that weld. But there are few great welding machines. And Master MIG goes beyond great welding and extends the usability. You can see there's a lot of new usability features, not in terms of only the compact size, nature, lightweight, but in terms of the welding profiles, depending on which particular application you're in. And when it comes to usability, for example, I think you can agree that the LED work lights, the weld assist, they're designed specifically to make the welder's work easier. They don't necessarily change the way the machine welds, but they just make the use of the welding machine better within the different applications. I hope that answers the question.
I'm sure it does. But if we move on now to asking you a question out there, we're going to put a poll. This is sort of a measurement of how they have received your message. The poll goes, are you excited about Master MIG? Are you excited about Master MIG? Well, I'm sure they are, but let's see what they answer. But while they answer, I'm going to ask you, I'm sure it's the question that everybody has on their mind as well. When can we get these? When are they going to be made available?
Well, good question, Andre. The 358 model is launching a little later in 2022. But the Master MIG 353 and the 355 model will be available for delivery by the end of April 2022. So in all great dealers near you very shortly.
Very, very exciting. So very, very, very soon. Hey, looking at the results of the poll already, it's, oh my God, people are very excited. So I think we're going to have a very good spring with these models. It's going to be a very busy spring. Thank you, John. We loved hearing about all the possibilities that these wonderful new products are bringing to the market. But now it's time to move on to our next theme, something that you talked about, which is the Max Arc performance.
Absolutely.
Let's go to that topic now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wow, very cool stuff. And we are here with our welding technology manager, Jani Kumpulainen. Welcome, Jani.
Thank you.
Very cool stuff we saw. It's the Max Cool. Could you tell us more about it, please?
Yes, it's a modified short arc process for root pass and thin sheet welding, and it's also suitable for MIG bracing.
And what kind of materials is it made for?
It's suitable for mild steel and stainless steel welding, and also for MIG bracing with copper silicon and copper aluminum filler wires.
So what is the idea that is involved in this process?
Very accurate current control and also low heat input. So that's why the large air cups or very thin sheets are not a problem for this process.
Excellent. And now let's move on to the next chapter of this story, which is the Max position. Wow, that was very interesting, Jani. Tell us, what is the Max position?
It's a synergic welding process where high and low power alternates. High power makes penetration and low power cools the weld pool in challenging welding position.
So what welding positions is it really made for?
It can be used for all positions, but it's optimized for vertical up fillet welds.
Okay, and what kind of materials can it weld?
It can be used for mild steel, stainless steel, and also for aluminum.
So what are the big benefits here?
It's very easy to use for the welder. Just adjust your blade thickness and start to weld with straight gun moving, and no any weaving needed.
Well, sounds like a clear benefit to me. And now we move on with the Max Speed. Well, that looks very professional, Yanni. Given the name of this, the max speed, I assume that it has to do with, creating greater speed in the operations. But what else is the max speed about?
Yes, you are totally right. But the max speed is modified spray arc process, and the main idea is that welding current is pulsed with very high frequency, and that's why the arc is very narrow and well focused. So that's why we can achieve very high welding speed.
So what is it designed to weld?
It's suitable for steel and stainless steel and for fillet welds in PA and PP positions.
So where should this process be applied?
Biggest benefits can be achieved with medium thickness blades such as 3 to 8 millimeter, and also when small throat thickness and high welding speed are needed.
So, Yanni, sometimes these processes are a little bit tricky to understand, but even I seem to get it. So of course, with this process, you're increasing the welding speed, which we covered already. You're improving the weld pool control, which is also important. And you're also reducing, and lowering the heat input. Isn't that right?
Yes, absolutely right.
Okay, so with all of these three together, you're going to be dramatically improving the productivity and the entire welding process. Isn't that right?
Yes.
That's phenomenal. What a great advance in the entire technology. Congratulations for that. But hey, I think it's time for us to take a question from the audience. Now, there are quite a few questions. Let's take this one. What is the difference between the max and WISE processes, Yanni?
At least one difference is that with max processes, you don't need any additional voltage feedback cable, and that is great benefit for the welder.
Well, I think that's all the time we had to cover these Max processes today. Thank you so much, Yanni, for your time. Thank you to the entire Max family for the great work that they're doing. And what a great day we've had today. It was so phenomenal to learn about all these new products and devices from Kemppi. We have definitely had a great opportunity to meet some great professionals and learn maybe new things. But if you have any other questions you would have still on your mind, please don't hesitate to reach out and our professionals will be answering your questions. We are taking the next step in arc welding together. And we also will have some questions for you. We'll be sending you a form to give us feedback on this event, to make this event better. Please answer that when you have time. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's the end of our show. Have a great spring and we'll see you again at the next local events. Bye.